Yeah, well, after this hockey intro, hello and welcome to another weekly Spielworxx chat. And today I will mainly talk about the cost, and I hope you will have some questions, maybe some comments, and please put them in the chat window. But first, I'll have some general Spielworxx and industry news. So, and as regular readers and viewers know, I struggled with Imperial Struggle. I had the game now on the table and not only on the virtual table, and I'm basically done with it. Despite its scope and its potential, for me there's too much bean counting, too much open information, too much downtime, and definitely not enough story, although the historical background is truly fascinating. But this is just me, so the game is clearly popular, as you can see at BGG. ConWorxx, the Spielworxx online convention, will be held on October 9 and 10. And on Friday, October 9, it will start at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 4 p.m. Central European Time, and stop at about 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 p.m. CET. On Saturday, it will be the full day, so it will start at about 3 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 9 a.m. here in Central European Time, and will last till about 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 10:30 p.m. CET. And this is normally well past my bedtime, but I try to be there till the end. And we will have interviews with the designers of all Spielworxx 2021 releases. We have other exciting interviews, and we'll have also 4 online games via Vessel. And last but not least, we will have 2 announcements, one on Friday and one on Saturday. And everything will be live at Twitch, and there will be no costs, of course, involved. We will have a few spots for live online playing available, and I will announce this soon. And if you are interested, you'll need to know the game rules, and need to know the vessel basics. That's all. And please note, I won't participate in Spiel Digital, but I wish the whole Merz team, and they have a lot of work, really a lot of success. A regular viewer Matthias of Spieletreffen Verteiler has his own Twitch channel now, and please check it out. And I have added the info in the chat window, so at 5:38 I think. So if you scroll back, you should see his URL. And Matthias, lots of success, of course. But now to the main topic for today, which is the cost and my view on it. And as you probably know, in the cost, the players try to make the most money in the asbestos industry. So the first question may be, why asbestos? This does not sound like fun. And well, here I echo Cole Worley, the great Cole Worley, who said, we are not trying to make fun games. And by the way, you should read the full interview with Cole and Drew Worley, and also at 4:38 I posted the URL of the full interview, which in my opinion is fascinating. So, and Spielworxx is making great games that make you think and that cover the full emotional spectrum. We are not in here for the giggles, that's for sure. But if a game only presents a serious topic but does not have interesting mechanics, the game will be only a study that you play once and then immediately put it away. So Spielworxx is very fortunate that the team of Mo and friends, they have designed excellent mechanics, beginning with the action selection, continuing with country selection and depiction, with the political climate, and of course also the logistics subgame, which is really, really important in the cost. And only a game with strong mechanics will be played repeatedly. And of course, a game that has strong mechanics always is in danger that the players only think in mechanical terms and forget about the story completely. This may happen in John Company, in an infamous traffic, in colonialism, or in This Guilty Land. And in the latter game, it is possible that you just see an area majority type game and forget all the rest. The cost cannot completely avoid it, but the dead workers that are stacked near your playmat will at least remind you about the nature of the game. What I personally find very fascinating is how some players have initially reacted to the cost. They asked for a penalty for unsafe mining and milling because mining and milling in this way is cheaper in a game that looks for the most money at the end of the game. First, mining, milling safely has advantages in the game, but you may discover these advantages only when you have played it a few times. But more importantly, it shows how experienced gamers are educated or even conditioned. They think in terms of games. Everything evens out, there is a perfect balance, whatever, of course, a perfect balance may be. But a player in the cost is running a company in the asbestos industry. Mining unsafely is cheaper. The players are stepping into the shoes of the owner of a company. Will you provide the means, lessen your profits for the highest security measures? And this is a moral issue. And note, the cost does not judge you. It doesn't judge you at all. The cost as a game, as a product does not make any moral statements. But I'm really confident that after the game, you will talk about your personal experience at the game table. That you have experienced the full range of emotions in a gamer's game that comes with strong mechanics. And if you are feeling this, I would be really very happy. And asbestos is just the hook. The cost tells you how modern capitalism is working. It will also tell you a lot about yourself. And because how will you behave? How will you behave? And of course, I have to end here with the master, Cole Worley himself again. Let me read this. One of the things I think about when I'm working on a design is, what is the game's narrative range? How many different types of stories can we create? And then, what's the game's emotional range? How many types of feelings can it create? And this is exactly how I feel when I'm thinking about the cost and when I'm playing it. It is surely not a game for everyone, but I think that the design team has created a truly important game. And really, finally, when I said I'm not in here for the giggles, it does not mean that there shouldn't be party games. This is something completely different, because there is room for the full range of games, for all kind of games. And of course there are party games, family type games, expert games, and of course also a few serious games that take a topic seriously and, more importantly, even let you think about what you are doing, what you are. And this is something where I can only say thank you to Mo and team. This is fantastic stuff. So let me see if you have any questions on the cost for me, or any comments, or maybe on ConWorxx. So I need to scroll back here. Let me see. Thank you for the link. Chris, hi, and Mo is there. So just as I said, we will have an interview here online anyway at a later point, but as I said, I can only thank you from my heart. This is a wonderful game you created for us. So Matt, oh, hello Matt. So I can't see the link. So I have to put in the links again. So I didn't even knew this. So you know how good I am. So let me put in the first one. So this is for Treffenverteiler for Matthias for his, now you should see it, for his Twitch channel. And this is a Dicebreaker interview with Drew and Cole Worley, which in my opinion is really outstanding. But you know, these are two outstanding persons. So you should now see it. Hopefully it has worked. And Chris, don't repeat this. I was going to point that out. Yeah, sorry for this. You see how experienced I am. Hello everyone. Oh, Jason is there. Yeah, Jason, by the way, he I saw this just a few minutes before we started at Twitter. He tested with Nick the next version of Acadians, which is a third game in the Cajun trilogy, and I was playing last week, and Jason is so creative. He's making some changes, although the basic engine is working already in a fantastic way. So, but Jason, wonderful stuff. He's always late. Yeah, that's true. And of course, Stephen, hello. This is great seeing you, the retired podfather of gaming. So great seeing you. But if you don't have any questions here at this point on the cost, maybe I can tell you something about, in addition, about ConWorxx, and maybe you will have some questions, and please post them. So there is a question on the cost, so I will get back to ConWorxx in a second. I have two complaints about the cost. I've only played it once, and I'm journeying to play it again. Many repeated plays. My pre-order hasn't shipped yet from BGG. Not their fault. I think it's still en route to the US. Yes, this is true. So all the people that have the game in hand right now have it shipped here from Europe. So mainly Europeans. There are a few reviewers, but I don't think that they already have the game in hands in the US, but it should be soon. But the games for BGG, they are on the way by boat, so it will take, I think, a couple of weeks till it's generally available in the US. So if these are the complaints, then I'm really happy. So back to ConWorxx. Yeah, I will have two announcements on Friday, one on Friday and one on Saturday, so on October 9 and 10. And these are two projects that I will do in the nearer future. And I can only say that most probably you will be excited. One is from a designer who has worked for Spielworxx before. And it was in Spielworxx terms, it was a very successful game. So, and we will talk about the game first at that point. And the other one is from, let's put it that way, two gaming veterans. And you know that I'm already in this hobby or in this industry for about 100 years. And they are even a little bit longer in the hobby, and they have done quite a few very successful games, and we will work together on a project, and I think you will be all excited. And if you're now thinking in terms of Kalle Schmiel, no, it's not Kalle. It's someone else, but I think you will be excited about these announcement. There's a question from Mo. Uli, do you read reviews for your games? Sometimes. Let's put it that way. So I had here 5 games for Doomsday. Ben Maddox talking about the good friend Ben Maddox talk about gaming journalism with me. So we were discussing this, and I think that lots of reviewers really have problems getting the gist of a game. I'm bored by their reviews, and I think some of them are really unfair as well. But there are some outstanding reviewers, and for example, Dan Thoreau, Space Biff, he will get a copy of the cost. He has already played the game on Tabletop Simulator, and definitely I will check out that review. Sometimes, if I read a review, I'm so motivated to answer because I think it's unfair or they missed some stuff. And in a way, of course, this is really stupid to think in these terms because most of the time they did a great job and I should really shut up. So it's better for me that I'm not even reading the reviews. So, but this does not mean that I'm not very open to critics. So I listen to everything. If somebody criticizes this and to this is absolutely fantastic and I listen to it. It's not always that I think they are correct with their critics, but you should listen to everything. Reviews in the open, it's just something else. And sometimes I struggle reading reviews. So yeah. So are you play board games live at ConWorxx and in English or German or mixed? Yeah, good question. ConWorxx, because my more than 50% of my customers, fans, or people who are following Spielworxx are not based in Germany. They are not necessarily all based in the US or in the UK, but at least they can understand English and even my kind of English most of the time, I hope. So ConWorxx will be 100% in English language and so not in German language. And also the live online games, everything will be in English language. That's the nature of the beast. And yes, for you native speakers, I can understand that you sometimes will think, well, it would be better if Uli is doing this in German because the English is so horrible. But what can I do? At least some people can understand something about it from it. Some other things. So people have asked me by mail, Uli, why aren't you participating in Spiel Digital? And as I said now repeatedly and several times, I love Dominik, I love the Merz Verlag, and they have a great team and they are working so hard to make it happen. And I also think that in the future, online conventions will be a part of every convention, even when the physical normal conventions are back. And seeing Stephen here, I know he's the eternal optimist and he's thinking that Origins will happen. I'm next year, so I'm not that sure, but I really hope that he's correct about this. But for me, getting back to Spiel Digital, why I'm not participating, there are two main reasons, or three maybe. First, I don't believe in any pre-production stuff. I think for me, such a tiny company that has a very small yet very loyal following, but in the midst of all the companies, there will be hardly any persons wanting to check out Spielworxx. And the problem is it's 4 days. So if you are not believing in pre-production videos that I've done in September and then run repeatedly during the convention, if you don't believe it, and I'm not believing in this because I think people, if they are at an online convention, they want to engage with me or with other people so that we have a dialogue and it's not something produced, because you can watch a video all the time. You don't have to be at Spiel Digital. So I'm not believing in this, but this also means that I would be 4 days straight in front of the camera. And this is definitely not something I would look forward to. Of course, costs are also getting back to the cost, but these are different costs, payment costs, because attending Spiel Digital costs some money. I think the rates are very fair. I'm not saying it's too costly, but for me, for a small company, it's something. And the third point is, and this may be surprising for overseas viewers right now, is most of the company and Merz Verlag also, they are using Discord. And Discord is of course a popular channel because you can chat, you can have several people in there. But to advertise here in Germany, which has very strict data encrypting rules, it's not even truly allowed to advertise. If I'm as a private person, if I'm using Discord, and I've used it because the wonderful US designers group where I played a game was run via Discord. So as a private person, of course I can participate. But let's say Spielworxx would say as a company, please use Discord. This is something else, because Twitter, Facebook, all the other platforms, they get our data. And in a way, we know this. Discord is even worse because they have no end-to-end encrypting. Nothing really. They can read everything. And that's their model. That's why they are free. Because they can sell everything from you. I'm not thinking that anything in a gaming chat is necessarily that important for them, for sales, but the German regulations are very strict, and as a company I cannot really advertise it in good faith. Some companies, even in the gaming industry, are now doing it here in Germany. Probably they fly under the radar, but I'm really careful. And on top of that, I don't want to deal as a company with a platform like Discord that is doing these things. So that is another reason for this. Getting back to some questions from Matt. Do you find there are differences between German reviewers and English reviewers, other than language, of course, or are they similar in approach? Very good question. I think 90%, 95% are same-ish. And we have some good to very good German language reviewers here, but I think the quality of a Matt Thrower, of a SpaceBiff Dan, we don't have such a person. Each and every review of SpaceBiff is a delight to read, because he now knows to have the what's in Germany it's roter Faden. So it starts with a story and it ends in a story arc. So it's not components and mechanics. So it's really interesting to read. So I think we are missing such a person. On the other hand, I don't know all German reviewers, but the ones I know, I've read pieces or I've seen pieces on video, I think they don't have quality. And of course this is unfair when I'm now picking 2 ones out. And of course Ben Maddox in 5 Games of Doomsday, he's also an outstanding reviewer. He's not only doing these interviews with hobby personalities, but he's also doing some reviews, and you normally won't hear anything about the game's components, or playing time is 3 hours and 2 to 4 players. No. So these are interesting pieces. You want to read them. And then there is a review. But even if you are not interested in the games, you want to read that piece. So I think Dan, Matt, a few others are really outstanding. Okay. Stephen, thank you so much. Uli's English is better than 90% of Americans. Then I can only say poor America, so poor US. So I doubt it. And yes, Stephen is confirming all major cons will happen in person in 2021. I'm the eternal optimist. Yeah, and I love you for that. So this is really always brightening my day when we are chatting, when we are meeting in person, and maybe then at Origins next year. So we'll see. And I'm the pessimist, and you know this, of course, Stephen, when you are working with Ignazi in your Board Games Insider, it's optimist and pessimist. And I could be in Ignazi's place, not being that good as Ignazi, of course. I don't want to replace him, just for being almost as pessimistic as he is. And he's saying this is his Slavic mind. Now it's not Slavic, it's also sometimes German, because you may all know the term German Angst, German fear of stuff. And I'm that kind of person. So is there anything else, or should we some questions on the cost, some other questions, or should we call it a day? I can only say that not all Spielworxx games will be like the cost, and I'm not looking towards doing only serious games. You know the range of Spielworxx stuff. We have games at expert level, sometimes a little bit lower, sometimes a little bit above it, but I'm always interested in games that are very important, and that's what the cost definitely is, as I tried to explain why a company is doing a game on the asbestos industry. And hopefully it helped you to come to a conclusion for you, or maybe it has whetted your appetite for playing the game, putting it out. And one thing, yes, I should mention this because I only saw it at Twitter 15 minutes before this episode started. We now have also a vessel module for the cost. So you can play the game online if you like. So if you are in social distancing, play with your friends, set up a time and play this game, and use some voice communication as well, because I'd love that you talk about your gaming experience, about your emotions afterwards. So, Matt, you bloody bastard. Next from Spielworxx, the cost the party game. Yes, that will definitely happen. I think I have one of your games scheduled for 2021. I could make Squaring Circleville the party game, and you will be probably very happy seeing the end result. So let me think about that way. And Mo is saying the cost of the party. Yeah. And when I was really young, so this is in the 80s, early 80s, sometimes when we were partying at that time, the costs were high afterwards. Next day, costs were really high in money. To try to get everything in some order again. But maybe this is a good way to end this. So, Thank you for your time. Next week there will be no Spielworxx chat. So next week no Spielworxx chat because Spielworxx closes its doors completely from Sunday till Friday. No orders will be processed in this time, and do not expect any mails being answered in this time, although I'm not sure if I will manage staying away from the computer for 5 days, but I will try at least. So if you would like to see a special topic discussed or have a specific question asked in advance so that I can build it in the next show, which will be in 2 weeks, so please drop me a mail at uli@spielworxx.de. That is uli@spielworxx.de. And till then, bleibt gesund, Black Lives Matter. Bye bye.